I don't do those things to have anybody follow me in doing that same thing, is what I mean.
Frank Sinatra was more than just a singer. He was a storm that could light up a room with a single note or tear it apart with his legendary temper. And behind the glamour of his golden voice and smooth style lay a man who never forgot an insult and never forgave a slight. Building friendships with presidents and kings, yet holding grudges that turned into some of Hollywood's fiercest feuds. Born in Hoboken in 1915 to working-class parents, Sinatra clawed his way out of the streets with nothing but his voice, and by the 1940s, teenage girls were screaming his name as he became America's first true pop idol. He reinvented himself time and time again. First as a big band singer, then a solo star, then a movie actor winning Oscars, and finally, the King of Las Vegas. But no matter how high he rose, one thing never changed: his demand for loyalty and respect. Sinatra had a magnetic charm that made people feel like they were part of something extraordinary. But he also had a fiery ego that exploded when someone crossed him. And Hollywood quickly learned that his grudges were not just whispers. They were weapons. If Frank liked you, he could change your life, paying your bills, protecting you, giving you opportunities. But if he decided you were his enemy, he could destroy you, and people knew it. They said, if Frank didn't like you, not only would you feel it, the whole town would know it too. That power made him both admired and feared, and his grudges became part of his legend, turning small disagreements into iconic battles that defined an era of Hollywood drama. One of his most famous feuds was with Marlon Brando, and it started with the 1955 film Guys and Dolls. Sinatra had his eyes set on the slick leading role of Sky Masterson, a part perfect for his charm and talent. But the studio shocked him by giving it to Marlon Brando, a man known more for mumbling method acting than for singing. Sinatra was humiliated, pushed into the smaller role of Nathan Detroit, and the bitterness burned every single day on set. Brando's slow, experimental style clashed with Sinatra's quick, instinctive approach, and Frank mocked him relentlessly with the cruel nickname Mumbles. Their tension exploded in the famous cheesecake scene, where Brando allegedly messed up take after take, forcing Sinatra to keep eating until he finally erupted, slamming down his fork and cursing his rival in front of the crew. That moment became Hollywood legend, a symbol of their mutual hatred that never faded. And even decades later, Sinatra avoided events if he knew Brando would be there. Their feud wasn't just two men at odds, it was a cultural clash, old Hollywood polish versus new Hollywood realism, and neither would bend. But Sinatra's enemies weren't limited to actors. He also clashed with John Wayne. And this time, the fight wasn't about roles. It was about politics and patriotism. Sinatra, who stood with liberal causes and marched for civil rights, was one of John F. Kennedy's closest allies, while Wayne, the Duke, was Hollywood's conservative hero who proudly defended the Vietnam War. When they crossed paths, sparks flew, and at one party, the two nearly came to blows over their differences, shouting insults until people had to hold them back. Wayne saw Sinatra as un-American for opposing the war, while Sinatra blasted Wayne for glorifying bloodshed, and their feud symbolized the larger cultural divide in America. One side pushing for progress, the other clinging to tradition. Yet perhaps Sinatra's most dangerous rivalry came with Howard Hughes, the billionaire who bought up Las Vegas and its casinos, including Sinatra's beloved Sands Hotel. For years, Sinatra treated the Sands like his kingdom, running up endless tabs, living like royalty, and expecting the hotel to bend to his every demand. But when Hughes took over, he enforced strict business rules. Suddenly, Sinatra's perks disappeared, his unlimited credit was cut, and his sense of entitlement clashed with Hughes's cold control. The battle turned personal, and soon Sinatra left the Sands in a storm of anger, a feud that echoed through the world of money, power, and entertainment. Frank Sinatra's story was not just about the music or the movies. It was about the rivalries, the explosions, and the battles that showed the world his true fire. He could be loyal, generous, and magnetic, but he could also be ruthless, unforgiving, and relentless. And those feuds became part of his legend just as much as his songs. To understand Sinatra is to understand that he was never just an entertainer. He was a force, a man who shaped Hollywood not only with his voice, but with his will. And his grudges remind us that even the greatest stars carry shadows that never fade. If you love uncovering the hidden rivalries and untold stories of Hollywood legends, make sure to subscribe to Hollywood Bulletin and press the bell icon so you never miss the drama, the secrets, and the truth behind the stars.